portion of the class tonight is being recorded to help keep you involved in the class. So far tonight we've discussed Module 3.1, all 3 assignments, and please let me know if you have a question about that. In Module 3.2 and 3.3, we're discussing the different type of tools available, and what we're doing for a breakout activity is a Jack Kerouac Quick Talk, and that's where the people in each breakout room, there's 3 breakout rooms, they pick 2 different tools, and from those 2 tools they have a minute to explain it to us. So I will be adding more to this video as we go throughout the class, and please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so for this exceptionalities presentation, we're going to be using the program called Sway. So what you need to do, and I'll give you a minute here to do it, is you need to log in with your BVU credentials or log in to easy.ly. So if everybody could just take a minute and see if you can log into either one of those. Okay, and once you click on the link, this is what it should look like. So let me see, does everybody get a chance to log in? So if everybody could you please click on the Create New and see if that works?
To create an account, new or audio?
You should probably create new.
Do new.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So once you have that created, you want to go back to the 3.5 assignment page and look at Define, Explain, and Describe an exceptionality of interest to you. So if you want to go ahead and click on the list. So this is a list of the exceptionalities that you can choose from. So after you have your exceptionality chosen, then what you want to do is to identify a tool, a resource, and a strategy to help support that student. Okay? So what you can do, you can be presented as a scenario, a case study, a formal presentation, or you can base it on a previous lesson plan. So I know you haven't written any lesson plans for me so far, but if you've written a lesson plan for another class, or if you are writing one for another class, or you have one for an assignment, please feel free to do that. You can use that resource. Okay. So these are the different resources. This is that UDL guideline that we've talked about. And then the second one is the assistive technology tools. And then the third resource here is differentiation tools. Okay. So as your final product, you need to contain a text, video, still images, and then references or links to a reference. Okay. And I know this is what always gets confusing, so I'm going to go ahead and go right here to see if it has our rubric here.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So say we choose like an intellectual disability. Are we doing it over intellectual, or can we pick one specific intellectual disability?
I think honestly it'd be easier for you to choose one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of them out there. I think that would be so difficult.
Well, like I can choose Down syndrome, and my presentation would be about Down syndrome.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Nope. Now's the time. That's the time I want you to ask questions. So this is, and I have yours drawn up. There's no submission for this. It's just you were first on the list. So these are the things that you need to include on in your presentation as a title. And then, of course, an introduction. And then the concept or story. And if that gets confusing, oh, it doesn't have I thought it would have a definition there. I apologize. Is that you want to talk about, like, can we use your Down syndrome for an example? Is that okay?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted.
No, that's fine. That's fine. If you want to give a little bit of background about the Down syndrome and different the resources, of course, that you could find to help people with that. And then this is how your actual sway scene is laid out. How does it look visually appealing? And then this is your transitions of how you, and this will make more sense once you've had a chance to look at the slide, or actually start playing around in sway, not slay. That's a different thing, in sway. So how do your slides transition between each other? And then the last one is image quality. What does it, you don't want to put on fuzzy pictures or things like that. So that's how the rubric will be scored. Questions on the rubric? No? Okay.
What is sway? Is it like a glorified PowerPoint, or?
It's just a different type of a way to present.
Okay.
Try to get outside they're just looking at different apps, that type of thing.
Okay.
Okay? And then we're just about down to the bottom. You just need to upload, and just upload your URL to the Canvas Dropbox. And I'm assigning it now. It's not due until June 23rd, but there's some big projects at the end, and I wanted you to be able to get a start on this if you wanted to. Okay, during this time, what we did during class is we looked at Module 4.2, and what the students are doing now is they clicked on this workshop on edted.com, and it brought you up, go back to the main page, it brought you up this TED Ed website, and they went ahead and they logged into the account, and then right now we're taking some class time to look at some various lessons as a group, just so they can see how it works a little bit. So there's a little bit more in the teaching area, and this is just to see how it works. Okay, the video-based lesson is under Module 4.2. Just want to go ahead and click on that. And this is all about using TED.com. And I'm sure you guys have seen have you ever seen a TED Talk? It's by the same people. So this is this platform for educators, and it allows us to use this platforming tool. So what you need to do is, and I'm sure we've all done this by now, is you register using either a Facebook account or create a new account. And then what you need to do is, this is sort of set up like a checklist. So you make sure you identify your standard in the discipline that you're going to cover. So if you want to look at the Iowa Core Standards, or if it's another particular discipline you're covering, you want to include that in your lesson plan so I can check that out and see what you're covering. And then you need to choose a video that's less than 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So if you choose one longer than that, it would be really hard for a student, especially an elementary student. I even think a high school student, because that would be a very, very long lesson. So after you choose that, then you do a launching the lesson editor, and that'll bring it up. It really goes through this step by step as you're doing it. The first step you need to do is watch, and it says let's begin, and there's a 400 word max right there, and at that point that's where you can include your standard. So let's see if I can do that here. So if you go to create a lesson,
You're not screen sharing.
okay, I was getting there. Okay, so create a lesson, and I'll bring up a video. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to make mini Nutella pies, okay?
Fiber, not a doer.
So you would copy the link.
A tiny burrito. Nah, you're a doer. If you're
And then that's where you would paste it into there. So that, continue. And there,
so the video it can't be less than 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
it should be less than 6 minutes and 30 seconds. The one I just chose a random video just for time's sake. So it should be less than 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I just wanted to do one quickly so you could see all the different portions, see how they're all labeled out there. And this follows along exactly with this. And it gives you the portion here and then what you need to include in it. Like this one, the Let's Begin, the 400 word max with the standard. And then the think portion, you need to create a 6-question quiz. And then it just continues on with dig deeper for additional 3 resources, and then a discussion thread, and then finally is your 5-sentence closing remarks.